All right, guys. Blowout. This is from Brian De Palma, 1981, out of the United States of America.
It's a remake. Did you know that?
What's
Blow Up.
Blow Up. Yes, I did read that. I did not watch Blow Up.
I haven't watched Blow Up. No, I plan on it.
Found that out after the fact.
Yeah.
Is that Hitchcock? Because I heard this movie is inspired a lot by Hitchcock.
It's not Hitchcock. I can't remember who it is, but it's also a Criterion movie. Like the original Blow Up is a Criterion movie, and so is this.
Okay, it's a remake.
Like
reimagining.
Yeah, like because I think the first one was a photographer, and like this one is the same plot, but like a sound guy instead of a photographer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me read the plot real quick. So yeah, it has Travolta in it. It's got Nancy Allen. It's got John Lithgow. A movie sound recordist accidentally records the evidence that proves that a car accident was actually murder and consequently finds himself in danger. So yeah, what did you guys...
Yeah, and the original was like a photographer who like, when developing his pictures, notices in the background that he snapped a murder.
Interesting.
So it's like the same type of plot.
Yeah, so they're both in the industry, I guess, in a way. But yes, what did you guys think about this one?
All right, well, because while I started watching it, immediately I said, I think we're in for a treat. Because it starts off with just like a cheesy horror movie playing basically with like naked girls in every room.
And then it's revealed that that's in the movie.
Yeah, he's like editing the sound of it.
Yes.
But I was like, the visuals, the sounds, and the 80s nudity in the first 5 minutes is a feast for the senses.
It is, yeah. There's a lot going on in that first 5 minutes.
I feel like you'll appreciate, might not love the movie, but like it is well made.
Oh, for sure.
So
you
like,
cannot deny that.
It's great. Like, but okay, so then Travolta just dives right in. Like he just hears... And then, or like he sees the accident and just dives right in the water.
Yeah.
Like doesn't question. Like,
the hero.
And then he's just out of his mind.
Yeah,
and then
He's bold.
I was like, how inept can a cop be? And I was like, never mind. The answer is very. Because the cop is just like grilling him and he was just a witness. Like he's not like he caused the car accident.
Yeah.
And then I said, hitting on her immediately? What a savage. Like she's coming out of being unconscious in the hospital and Travolta immediately is like, you want to go out for a drink?
Yeah, save your life. I think you got.
He's like, he realized she was fine and he's like, well, I mean, might as well. She's kind of good looking, you know?
And then I said, that cop has to be a little person. Because there's like another cop in the hospital that's literally like 4 feet tall for no reason.
4 feet tall.
And then I said, it looks like Travolta's experienced unconscious women like this before. Like it doesn't seem like he's uncomfortable with like ushering this unconscious woman to a hotel. And then the switch from like the outside of the hotel room to inside the hotel room was like a very cool shot. Like
the shot upwards.
Yeah, well, it was
like
outside
shot.
the window, and then it like went, and then like was behind him inside the room.
Yeah,
and there was like a lot of weird stuff like that was cool.
They did have cool shots.
It did have a lot of cool shots and editing stuff.
Then I said, that chin is distracting.
Travolta's chin?
You could fit that axe in his chin.
Hey, no homo. That's a beautiful man. 1981 Travolta, you can't deny that.
I mean,
I'll leave that there.
John Lithgow being creepy as always.
Yeah, he plays a good killer.
He really does, which
then-
has me suspicious of him as a person in general, to be honest with you.
A great quote. She says, "I'll look after my own ass, thank you." And then it turns into like weird, cheesy porno romance music.
Great. Yes.
And then I said, "Poor horsies," because they're like running from the chaos and like the car crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said,
that one skidded.
Then I said, "She's dumb as hell."
She really is.
Because she's just like, "Oh yeah, you're the interviewer from the paper," and just goes with John Lithgow, like,
Walking down
walking
down the subway,
which was also a really dumb mistake by Travolta to just let her go alone.
Absolutely.
Why did you let her go alone? She was a very
Travolta's
dumb character.
Always ready to spring into action, because then he's like laying unconscious in the ambulance. They stitch him up, and then he jumps out and runs to save her again
and finds her.
Yeah.
I don't know how did he find her, really?
I don't know.
The fact that he's laying in an ambulance by himself with fireworks going off after he just like
then I
got in a huge crash.
Yeah. Then, well, everyone was saying like, oh, somebody call an ambulance for this guy. He might have just, they don't know if he killed like 30 people on the way. And somebody get an ambulance
even
for
by
him.
himself. He'll wake up.
Yeah, he's a mass murderer, but get an ambulance for him.
And then the faces that they both make and like the final kill scene is very goofy. Like it like zooms in on Travolta and Lithgow's faces, and they're like, "Oh."
Did they?
It was just very bizarre. Like their faces, like when the camera went to them.
I don't know if I noticed.
It was just weird to me. And then I said, "What a filmography Brian De Palma has: Scarface, Carrie, Body Double, Mission Impossible, Raising Cain, Snake Eyes."
Yeah, I looked after and I was like, "This guy's made some hits."
Yeah,
wow. I haven't seen a couple of those, but
The Split Screen, was actually used well in the beginning. Like, I don't really like when directors do a lot of split screen in movies because I feel like
You mean
it comes
just a
out forced.
straight split screen?
Yeah, that was good.
I like that. It looks sharp.
But, yeah, which was good, but sometimes I hate it.
And then there's also a shot. It's called, I believe, a split diopter shot. I believe where like this thing's in focus very close, and then there's another thing in focus, but there's a little bit of blur between
Yeah.
them. That's called a split diopter.
It was cool
shot.
shots.
And then also the frickin' shot where he actually discovers, and you see his head next to what is it? Something. I think it was the tape playing or something.
Oh yeah, the like audio reel.
You remember that shot? That shot was cool.
Also, there's
Yeah.
so
Looks
many
cool.
shots like through windows, and then like a lot of split screen later on too. Mm-hmm. And then the score, I think, was great. Like the use of the score was great.
Man, the use of the audio was great. Like,
then-
you know what scene really sticks out for me is when he's putting it together. Like
Yeah,
when
it was
he
cool.
when he cut out the
Yeah.
pictures and then he put the sound he got to it. It's like using this raw stuff, combine it with this raw stuff, and it makes something. That
Yeah.
was cool, man. He made like a own little homemade
Kind
film.
of get like an inside the studio look at like how it's
yes,
done.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Like you
And
know,
then you'll be able to attest to this more than I do. I can, but I said something about the camera movement seemed unique. Like it was just different than most movies.
it did.
But I can't nail down what that was.
I can't either. It was very. What's the word? Like, what's the word? Where something's
Professional?
always in motion. It was very.
Like
it was
perpetual motion.
yes, it was always kinetic.
Yeah.
Almost. You know, it was like always moving.
Yeah.
And you know what? Other scene was really cool. I thought was when he was like replaying it in his mind, and he was using the pencil, and you're hearing all the stuff
Oh,
that
yeah.
he
Oh, yeah.
heard with the pencil. That was really cool. Like the frog, the owl,
Yeah.
and then the crash, the gunshot, the guy with the girl. That was really cool.
And that has some similarities like with Die Hard cinematically, like the ambulance with the fireworks and like the final like fight scene on top of the building.
Right, yeah. I could
see
So
that.
like, well, of that, so like action movies of that time.
Yes.
And then I said a whole lot of similarities with like the 90s espionage movies that were big, like all the Seagal movies and stuff, like were
Oh yeah.
like all like shot that way, or like
Right.
with those themes and like those action sequences.
Yep. Those espionage thrillers.
And then
yeah.
like I said I did want to and expect to like it more, but it was wonderfully shot and made. So
it
like,
was. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of unique stuff in it, and it's like uses visuals and picture or like audio
Yeah.
like, very well. You know,
which I mean I guess
Very
that's why
unique.
it's Criterion.
yeah, very unique in how it uses audio. Like, cause like not many movies use like a mic in the movie. And like when he's pointing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
mic at stuff,
Yeah.
that was just so cool to have an insiders, and he's listening to like a frog on the ground like 100 yards away.
Yeah.
it's just cool.
Yeah, it made
how
the
they
audio
did-
sound cool.
And then the last thing I said when an ending, what an ending the titty scream is.
know.
Should be utilized more often.
That was so.
Like the movie just ends with like the girl's titties out and her recording a scream.
That's a good scream.
That's a good ending.
That's a good scream. That's a great scream or whatever. Yeah.
It's just, and it's funny that him and that guy arguing back and forth like about the scream and stuff. Like, get that out of here. That's her voice. That's her.
That was so funny when he brought him in. He's like, get in here, and then they all screamed at once. He's like, you need more actresses. Or whatever. You need to try harder. or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, he was just scarred at the end, wasn't he? Like grim ending.
I
Very shocking.
I
Actually.
hated the ending, honestly.
Did you?
I hated
What
it.
did you hate about it?
That just makes him like a sociopath to me. That he used the death of like the woman he loved as a scream in a movie.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it is insane. Logically, it's an insane choice.
I mean, as soon as they zoomed in on her screaming, I was like, well, he's gonna use that scream. Like
Yeah.
it was so obvious.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and I was like, well, that's just so cheesy that they did that. It makes him look terrible, in my opinion.
It does. It does. And
I mean,
but he's like, I think he's just showing that he's like just a broken man. He's just destroyed.
Desensitized.
Yeah,
I guess.
and he's scarred.
I mean, Travolta's characters usually are like, even when they're the good guy, it's usually like, is he the good guy though? Like Grease, he's a cocksucker.
But he was supposed to be the good guy. Like you're supposed to still view him as the good guy.
Yeah,
Even in the end of that
yeah,
movie.
but like he's like, it's like, is he? He's got a dark edge.
yeah, you're right. He is supposed to be the good guy. Yeah, but
And they wanted you to think he was a good guy, but her death as screaming, he's like, let's just put that in the movie. It sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Let me just
Over them-
monetize
over
her
them
death.
hot titties.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, like you guys said, it used a lot of cool like filmmaking techniques, and it was
Yeah,
like,
I
just-
love the first
Yeah, which is
half hour. I was like super into it.
Which is
And then
also,
it
like-
just felt like a episode of like 24. It got like real cheesy.
Yeah.
And it was like the crime stuff. I was like, this is just really bad now. Like,
yeah, like the
Right.
like Seagal movies.
yeah,
Right.
more so like even like an episode of 24 where they just don't have to explain it. They're just like, this is happening.
Ever since he kind of called her and faked that he was the newscaster, and then it becomes that. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
even
like-
a little before that when they were talking about like the tire getting shot out and he's going to like replace the tire. You're like, come on, this guy like.
Oh yeah, and then
he's
he, and then he,
spy. He's a
Yeah,
and
he
then he
doesn't care
steals the he erases all the audio.
Right.
And then also he freaking is out there murdering chicks just to.
And
Well,
then
this
just-
guy's like a serial
They're
killer.
just
They hired
talking
him.
about it on the phone. He's like, so I decided she had to go.
Yeah.
yeah,
So why would he care about covering up evidence if he's like a straight serial killer?
no, they didn't explain that really. Why he was in it? You know what I mean? What was in it for him? Money. That's it.
Yeah, they hired him to take that dude out. So I'm guessing a lot of money. But then he's like, "Oh, I got to cover it up now. I gotta." Why though?
Exactly. Why?
You did your job.
But that's a feat in itself. I feel like making Joe and I like go, wow, this audio and like the audio and camera work is pretty crazy.
That's true.
I liked that. It was like a cool take on a movie, like an
Yeah.
audio guy filming stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
it is.
And I liked
That's
some
why
of the shots
that's
were
why
super
I
cool.
wanted to and thought I would like it more, just because it was like
Yeah.
the sound guy.
And I was super into it when he dove in the water and you see the background, the guy by the bridge
Yeah,
and goes
there
were
up,
some-
and you're like,
there
that's cool looking.
some-
That's
Yeah,
there
because-
were so
because-
many
because
very cool,
it
yeah.
intrigues you. You're like, oh, I wonder what that's about.
There's
Yeah.
so
You know what
many
I'm saying?
And then
very
it just
cool
got like
pieces.
further down, and then you're like, this is really bad.
It
now.
got. I'm gonna be honest. It did get convoluted.
And then they just, like you said, waking up in the ambulance where you're like, he just hit like so much stuff. And he's sitting in an ambulance by himself.
drove his car through the parade
Not at
into a
hospital,
building.
but he's like on the
Right.
side of a bridge in an ambulance. He just
Yeah.
wakes up like, there she is.
Like he's got
No.
Spidey sense.
Yeah.
Let me get out that freaking ambulance door and run and find her.
chin was like a satellite dish.
He just got lazy.
Right. Yeah. It was honestly. It did get a bit just
then I
convoluted
guess-
and whatnot. And
A lot of people are going to take the ending as being like cool and like genius, maybe even. But I thought it was so stupid. Using her scream, it's so like, makes him a bad dude.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for
I
ice
mean,
cream.
it does like make sense in a way.
No, it doesn't.
A lot, like to the logic brain, it does not. But like just for like entertainment's sake, I guess it does. Like, oh, I got this scream on audio. I mean, I guess I could use it for this movie or something. And I don't know.
He was like in love with her.
Yeah.
And she died. He saw her scream bloody murder, and then he's like, movie. Got it from the movie. Be perfect.
Maybe he's
Free sample. He didn't have to pay her. She
He's
was
just
dead.
so obsessed with his job that he's like wanted to perfect it.
He wasn't there ever. The dude was trying to get him in there. He's like, yeah, get new chicks. He didn't care about his job at all.
Yeah, he was off doing his own
Yeah,
thing.
he didn't care.
Saving his own skin.
Just
Filming
being a
owls and
professional detective.
he didn't give a
apparently.
shit about his job.
Yeah, it did have a lot of cool stuff in it. But
Very,
yeah,
yeah.
the story, I agree with you, Joe. It did
It
go
lost me.
downhill. Yeah, it lost me as well later on. But
Yeah,
But
went
some of the
into, like,
visuals were still pretty.
TV
awesome.
like thriller cop show, and I was like, okay, this is dumb now.
yeah.
But it started off cool. I'll give it that.
The beginning,
What
the
about-
first 5 minutes were
There you go, yeah.
on top of
Yeah,
the
but I
world.
thought that was the movie. I was
Man.
into it.
What about the shot with was it Travolta? I think it was Travolta and the fireworks going off behind him. That was pretty cool looking, huh?
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see why it was Criterion because the shots and stuff were cool, and
Yeah.
the sound was good, and like you said, the split screens and stuff were cool.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Very cool. Yeah. A lot of cool editing and just style techniques.
But then
and
the story, they were
filmmaking
like, that can
techniques.
go by the wayside. That's fine.
Right. I think honestly, I think they overcomplicated it. If they would have made him the sound guy, why did they have to bring in like politics and all that stuff? Just
Yeah,
make
I
him the
agree.
sound guy and make a murder happen. You don't need to bring
You
in
don't
all
need
this,
Lithgow being a reporter in a subway following the chick around. Stop
all
it.
these different motives and
Also,
like.
Lithgow, has Lithgow ever looked young?
No.
No, I think he was like 20 in this. And he looks like 50.
He looks like the Trinity Killer, and it's a 40-year-old movie.
I think a big part of it was when
45 now,
when they
almost.
lost me was when they showed this flashback of his wire tapping that cop, and he's just hanging in a bathroom stall. Like I knew you. The mob dude
I
in there
knew
for 1
you were
second.
gonna get on that. I knew it because I said when I was watching it, I was like, Joe's gonna get on about that wire hanging there, bro. There's no way a 200-pound
He was
man
hanging
would
by
hang
like a dental floss. Like, stop it.
Yeah, and then, he's like, the battery's burning him. I
Yeah,
gotta
it's
get
like-
in there.
You're gonna blow his cover, and that guy went in there so fast and got out
Within
so
a second,
fast.
he hung him away with floss.
He was like opening the door, and the guy was like,
Yeah, he's already hung with floss. Don't worry about it.
Oh, this comedy's making me rethink. I might like the movie more.
right.
Well, we can do ratings
Yeah, all right. I gave it. I'm torn
because of how
between
meticulous it was.
I'm torn because of how well it was made and stuff, and it did go downhill in my
I
opinion.
feel you.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah, I'll get a 7.5. But I'll go with that. 7's good.
Yeah, 7's good. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Watch this one ASAP. Watch it whenever or skip it.
It's whenever.
Yeah, watch it whenever.
I would agree with that. Whenever.
I watched it because of the Criterion sale. I'll be honest. That's why I have it.
It's
when everything was half off.
It's good. It's not it's not gonna blow you away, but anyway, guys. That's our review for Blowout, guys.
Blow these nuts out.
Check that out
Ew.
whenever. It's on Criterion. It's got Travolta. It's got John Lithgow as a killer. It's made by
about
De
it.
Palma. Yeah.
Fireworks,
Yeah,
ambulances.
there's that.
Check it out, guys. We'll see you, and thanks for watching.